Tell me why you killed Dad.
Something you want to tell me, Otto?
I have a new business partner. Maybe you know her.
Guess who's out of the box, Jacob?
Welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today we're talking fast, talking furious, talking ways to improve Fast and Furious 9. If you're like me, then you haven't liked the last two installments of Fast and Furious very much at all. And if you're like me, you've also thought about Fast and Furious way too much. And if that's the case, then you can probably come up with a few ways to improve Fast 9 pretty easily. I know I can, and I have a few to share today. If you're watching this, then you've all seen Fast 9, but I want to recap just a bit to set the scene for my proposal. When Fast 9 begins, the team is dormant. Dom is on a farm with Letty and his child, when their transmission is picked up by Tej that implicates Mr. Nobody, the nearly throwaway character for Fast 7 and Fast 8. This apparently is enough to fully motivate the team into action. It is also revealed that Jacob, Dom's younger brother, is involved. They almost die. Then they have a big action scene at the end of the movie where nothing makes sense, and Otto, one of three villains in this movie, betrays Jacob, leading to Jacob helping the team. The end. Remember this movie? It was pretty bad, with only the barest improvement over Fast 8, but I think this one had way more potential than Fast 8. I think the major flaws here can mostly be repaired with a few small changes. Number 1. Fix the characters' motivations. We need to find a better way to motivate the team. Fast 8 was bad for a lot of reasons, but one was because of the characters' motivations, which in Fast 8 was basically just to be out there as mercenaries taking whatever job comes to them. Fast 9 is a little better at this, but it's still weak that the connection and motivation for the team is Mr. Nobody. He was barely in Fast 8 and only had one scene with the team in Fast 7, plus one extra action scene with Brian and Dom. Concern for him is weak motivation. And is catching Cypher their motivation? If that's so important, why haven't they been hunting her all this time since the last movie, rather than sitting dormant? All of a sudden, catching Cypher means so much? Since Mr. Nobody's transmission went out, makes no sense. So how would I have done it? I have two ideas. The easy way would be to have Mr. Nobody's transmission itself reveal Jacob's involvement, while the whole team is watching, and force Dom to explain this. This would commit Dom, which would commit the team. That's the easy way and would be better than nothing, but it's not my preferred option. The better, but more difficult option would be to have Mr. Nobody in his transmission implicate or mention Han, and then Han has some involvement in what's going on, without mentioning Cypher or Jacob at all. This mention of a fallen member of the family would clearly motivate the team, including Dom, who until then would have seemed reluctant, and it would set up the Han reveal later. This would also leave Jacob out of the motivation for Dom, meaning we and the characters, including Dom, would find out about his involvement later. This would be a major surprise for Dom and for the audience, throwing Dom and the team off their game during this scene, where the team tries to recover the device from Nobody's plane. Jacob showing up out of nowhere would be the reason the bad guys get a jump on the team and almost take them out. As is in Fast 9, simple carelessness is what leads the team to get ambushed by the bad guys. And this is supposed to be the best team in the world. They seem to forget this with writing certain parts of these movies. The team going in due to Han's potential involvement would be a better motivation, and leaving the Jacob reveal as a surprise to the team would be a good reason for the best team in the world to get ambushed and nearly destroyed. So this is a 3-for-1. It would improve the motivations, improve the treatment of the team, and improve the action scene. Number 2, the movie needed a classic Fast and Furious lull. The lack of this is another thing Fast 8 and Fast 9 have in common. The lull is a planning period where the team takes their time and works together toward their goal. The plot of Fast 9, as is too packed to allow for this. This would have also been a place for an insertion of the Fast and Furious theme. Check one more box. The best correction for this will be to altogether remove the London scene where Dom rides with Winnie Shaw, confronts Jacob, and gets fake captured by Cardi B. The only result of this scene is some useless dialogue between Dom and Jacob. That dialogue could be better delivered at their face-to-face later in the movie. The scene is total waste of time. Dom gets no information from Jacob here. Dom does get caught, but it is immediately revealed, and I do mean immediately revealed, that it's a fake capture by Cardi B. Cut this scene altogether and use the saved runtime for some team building. Number 3 is the biggest and most ambitious change, and that is to add some stakes, some real stakes. I said this in my Fast 9 review. Dom needs to get caught and captured. We desperately need something to raise the risk in these movies, other than another doomsday weapon. How are we going to do this? By cutting yet another scene. This scene at the hideout, where Dom sacrifices himself to keep the bad guys from catching Letty and the rest of the team, which leads to him getting caught but not getting caught again, ending with them all safe, right back in their base with no bad guys, just like they were before, is a wasted scene. The only result from this entire sequence is that Jacob escapes and takes L, the key to the weapon. This scene has to be rewritten to not waste so much time but still accomplish the goal of having the bad guys get the key. To do this, I would cut the scene completely and replace it with a separate scene in which Dom and Elle get caught by Jacob, for real capture this time. This would add tension and stakes to the movie. As this would be a shorter scene, the time saved could be used to allow Han to explain the weapon to the team. This would provide time for their lull too. They're planning to confront Jacob and rescue Dom and Elle. They would put together a plan as Dom puts together his own plan while imprisoned by Jacob. He and Dom would have a face-to-face where Jacob reveals the information about the father's death, how the father was trying to throw the race due to heavy debt, which was related to his doting relationship with Dom. And we see that Otto is secretly listening and finds out Dom and Jacob are brothers, sowing doubt in Otto's mind about Jacob's loyalty. At this point, the team would make their assault, beginning their attempt to rescue Dom. Tej and Roman would be in space taking care of the satellite. The team would begin assaulting the truck as it is in the movie, except that Dom would be on board the truck, raising the stakes. Dom would get free and help the team. Seeing Jacob's failure to hold Dom, Otto says he's trading Jacob in for a more reliable partner. Of course, this is Otto's turn to cipher and betrayal of Jacob. The rest of the movie happens as is. What did these changes do for us? Well, they cut 2 useless scenes. That's worth it for its own sake. It also will help the final action scene, as each part will be more important. As is, the truck heist means nothing, because Tej and Roman blow up the satellite, which neutralizes everything pertaining to the truck. If Dom is captured, they still need to free him. As long as Dom's captive, the threat that they'll kill him keeps Tej and Roman from going through with the destruction of the satellite, forcing them to wait until word comes that Dom is freed. So the 2 things are connected in that way, and both parts of the action scene, both the truck and the satellite, become important. It will also provide some meaning to Otto's turn on Jacob. As is, Otto just switches on Jacob at the stupidest possible point, in the middle of their job to deploy the satellite, which makes no sense. With my change, Otto sees Dom escape. The audience knows it's because Dom outwitted Otto and Jacob, but Otto doesn't know that, and he's been suspicious of Jacob's true loyalty for a few scenes now after finding out the 2 are brothers. And Dom escaping cements his doubts about Jacob, believing he is behind Dom's escape, or at the very least that Jacob is plain incompetent to have allowed Dom to escape, giving Otto a decent reason to turn on Jacob. The turn to cipher now makes sense, whereas in the movie as is, it's just a senseless and silly decision. Otto turning against Jacob hurts Jacob because he knows he was loyal to Otto, just as he knows he was loyal to his father before being exiled by Dom. Jacob and Dom's father planned to crash into the race. It wasn't Jacob's fault, but he was still exiled by Dom. And now, even though he had nothing to do with Dom's escape, Otto and his team, Jacob's new family, is also exiling him. This hurts Jacob. We, the audience, feel something for Jacob here. His character is deepened. Imagine that, a complicated and interesting villain in one of these movies. Jacob then assists the team as is in the movie. The end. What do you all think of this change? I think it would have helped greatly. I've said it before, but there is some validity to The Rock's criticism of Vin Diesel. I think Diesel is overly sensitive to his mythology in these movies. He won't allow any meaningful weakness to Dom. He won't allow Dom to get captured or lose a fight or face any real stakes at all. This has to change if the last 2 movies are going to be of any value. Leave a comment letting me know what you think and whether you think there's any chance the final 2 movies are any improvement to the previous 2. That's all I have. Keep it fast, keep it furious.
The brother you're looking for? It's from an old life.